FM 88.7 The Choice. I promised you we'd have a special guest, and Johnny Cooper is here. Johnny, how are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. New CD is out. It's called Live at the Pub 2?
Yes, sir. That's
Where's
correct. It's actually in Wichita Falls, my hometown. We recorded our first record ever, the first Live at the Pub there, and I only thought it was right that if we were ever going to do another live record that we had to go back to where it all kind of started. So
you like doing live CDs as opposed to studio, or
man, they're both like they're both different and great for their own thing. You know, the cool part about this record, Live at the Pub 2, is we tried to. There's no time change in it all, so it's straight through. What you hear is exactly what happened that night. We didn't go back and cut time or anything like that. We wanted to make it just as if you were there that night to come see the show, and that's a challenge, because you have to nail everything that night. And that's what's cool about doing a live record is you have to be relaxed like you are any other night playing live, but you also have to kind of keep in the back of your head that this is going down and this is it, So if you mess up or something, and there's a couple times that I actually mess up in there, and it's funny to me now, but I would guarantee that you could pick anybody to go through that with a fine comb and pick it out, and we'll see if you're right, because I haven't had anybody find it yet.
There you go. Plus, it kind of does keep you on your toes, I would imagine, as you're going through and playing.
Right.
You write all your own music?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I like to do it either by myself. I write a lot with my father, and I also co-write with a lot of people. And then, of course, with my guys in my band, we also all write together as well.
You ever sit back and go, I'm 23 years old, and I've already got, is this 4 CDs?
Yes, sir.
I've already got 4 CDs. I'm playing big venues. I'm playing before a lot of people. How much you've accomplished in such a short time?
Yeah, sometimes I look back, and then there's also times that I think, that there's still a lot more I can do. You go through like these phases where you may not go a couple months without writing a song, and sometimes that can really weigh on you, just as being that this is what you do. This is what you do. And you kind of have to like turn your brain off for a little while, because I kind of believe that I never really write a song. I just so happen to be chosen to put it down on paper, and I think that for a lot of these things I was a conduit for that purpose, and not always do you get the privilege to have that happen all the time. Sometimes I'll go through a couple months where I'm just nailing them out, and then sometimes you have a couple months where you can't just get anything going, and so it's tough sometimes, but being at 23 now, I'm happy with everything that we've done, but I just know that I want to keep pushing myself to keep trying to do more before you get to a point where you may not get to do that anymore, or nobody cares anymore.
Do you categorize your music? Because you could call it Texas, red dirt, you could call it...
Right.
I mean, it's got a pop sound to it
right.
in a way. You cover a lot of genres in each song.
Right, yeah. And I try to do that just mainly because, that's the kind of music I grew up with. I grew up with tons of different music, having a father that was a nightclub business, and also he was a musician, and then my mother was a choreographer. So, still to this day, there's a whole room upstairs in my parents' house that has nothing but milk crates full of vinyl records. So, I remember, and that's also a big part of, I think a generation that I got to be a last of is, I got to see every form of music and how it would, its compatibility of how you'd listen to it. And what's crazy is, like, now that we have like iPods and stuff like that, it's so easy for me to go from like a George Jones song to a Snoop Dogg song to a Lenny Kravitz song, and I think that kind of shows up in the way I write music, because I've had so many different genres that I've listened to growing up.
Anything in particular you're listening to now?
I actually been into this band called Fun, and I went and saw them live in concert in Dallas not too long ago at the House of Blues, and I've been really listening to them. There's another band called the Punch Brothers that I think are phenomenal musicians, and I'm always a sucker for old school music, so it doesn't matter if you turn it on a classic rock station. I can usually listen to that for the most of the day. And I'm also a huge fan of hip hop, like people like Kanye West and Jay-Z. I got to see them in concert, and that kind of changed my mind about other concerts, because that was 2 guys on stage for almost 2 hours, and I never got bored. And I never thought in my life I'd go to a concert that didn't have a band and actually like it, but I did. I had a phenomenal time.
That's that. When you go to see music, can you be a fan, or are you an artist watching another artist and you're going, okay, how do they do this? Let me watch how they're doing this. Or are you there just as play me some music and entertain me?
Man, I try to do both, and the way you accomplish that is you go once as just a fan, and then you go back the second time as an artist and really pay attention. But it's hard because, you know, more than anything, before you become an artist, you're always a fan of music first. So you have to, I always kind of think you have to approach that side of it first. I want to go as just like everybody else is in the crowd, just to go because you wanted to be there. You wanted to go see a band that you really enjoy. And I think you have to do that aspect of it first before you move on to start criticizing things, because if you do that initially, then you don't get a chance to really enjoy it.
You've got this other CD here called Deep in the Heart. It's the soundtrack from the movie. Now, is the movie out?
Yes, the movie's out. It's a Texas independent movie, and so right now it's just kind of in theaters across Texas, and they're just trying to get everything kind of rolling so that way they can maybe make it national. It's got John Grise in it and Val Kilmer and some really good other actors, and they actually came to me wanting me to write a song for a particular scene in the movie, and I sat down with my guitar player, wrote this song, sent it off to him. I just sent him a demo version, thinking that if they did like it, they'd want me to go back and recut it, and they actually were impressed with just a demo version, so they put it right in the movie. Then they came to me a couple weeks later and said, we want to use this other song and put it just on the soundtrack. So I got a song called Devil in the Glass and a song called Thank You on the actual soundtrack, so I'm pretty excited about that. It's interesting. Anytime you get a call from L.A., it either means you owe somebody money or something good's about to happen. So,
and this time something good was about to happen. Was it hard to write for a particular scene?
At first it was, but after you watch that scene about 900 times like I did, you really pick up on what the vibe needed to be. And in this scene, it was pretty much like a song in the background on a jukebox was going on while a guy was sitting down at a bar, and he was an alcoholic, and he was sitting down at a bar, and he's been sober for 10 years, and he was thinking about taking a drink. And so that's where I got the idea to title the song Devil in a Glass, and the whole song is really about telling yourself that, you know, you don't need that drink because, you know, he's been sober for so long that he didn't need to go back down that path.
Johnny, appreciate you stopping by.
No problem. Just thanks for your time.
Matter of fact, let's play. Johnny played for us just a few minutes ago here in the studio. Let's play one of these. This was one of your first hits, Crazy?
Yeah. It was off our Follow record, and it was one that went up to, I think it got in the top 5 on the Texas Music Chart, which is tremendous, you know, and that happens for one reason, because fans are calling in and requesting it. So.
His name is Johnny Cooper. The song is called Crazy. He played it live for us about 10 minutes ago. Let's play it right now here on KTCU.